Hey guys, this is Brent with Western Equipment, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the major differences between the John Deere Z5s and John Deere Z7s. That way, hopefully after watching this video, you can better decide which one's for you. So let's get started. Starting at the engines, let's talk about both series here. Starting with the Z5, you are going to have the option for a Kawasaki engine or a Briggs & Stratton. Now with the Z7, you're going to have those same options, but what you are going to see that's different is that there is going to be a jump in the quality from a Z5 engine to a Z7. For instance, on these two machines, we both have Kawasaki engines here, but this one on the Z5 is going to be an FR series, and over here on the Z7 is an FS. Now, according to Kawasaki specs and the way that they rate their engines, this is going to be a jump in quality moving up to the one here that's on the Z7. Now, this same thing is going to take place if you pick the Briggs & Stratton engine, as on the Z5s, you're going to have the M44 engines, and on the Z7s, you'll have an HTR 810. That, again, with Briggs & Stratton specs, is going to be a jump up in quality. So one nice feature about the Z5 that the Z7 is not going to have at the engine is that in 2021, John Deere added the option on the Z5s to have an EFI engine, which is an electronically fuel injected engine. Now what this means is that by having that EFI engine, you no longer have that choke and throttle. You're just going to have the easy start mechanism without the choke, making it more like your automobile. So a very nice feature here at the Z5. So the next difference, now whether this is major to you or not, is going to depend on how much you're going to lower and raise your ROPS. But here at the pin system, we do have a significant difference. So here on the Z5, we've got this easy pull to either lock or unlock system, and then on the Z7 we're going to have the more standard cotter and pin system. So the next difference is going to be one that often gets overlooked, and that's going to be at the transaxles, which are the actual driving motors of these machines. So over here on the Z5s, these are going to be equipped with the tough torque transaxles. These are what you're going to see more in your residential and upper residential mowers. Now when we make the jump to the Z7, you're going to see the hydro gear transaxles, which are geared up more for the commercial line. So you're going to think to yourself, what does this matter to me? Well, some of the differences when you make the jump to those hydro gears is you're moving it up in durability, up in strength. You're also moving up in top speeds. So for instance, both of these mowers could be 24 horsepower, but our top speed over here on the Z5 would be 9 miles an hour, and our top speed over here on the Z7 would be 10 miles an hour. Now another major difference too is that you're able to go up in tire size when you go to the Z7s, and being able to get into things such as the wheels, which we'll get into next. So talking a little bit more about these tire options. So right here we have the standard tires for these mowers, and as you'll notice here on the Z5 we have a 22, and over here on the Z7 we have a 23. Now you will be able to jump up one tire size on each of these mowers, whereas on the Z5s you will be able to jump up into a 23, and on the Z7s you'll be able to jump up into a 24. Now, but one of the things that is special about the Z7, and with the addition of those upgraded transaxles, is you'll be able to jump into the wheels, which are the airless tires that are going to be great for those commercial applications where you will not have flats. So next major difference, guys, is going to be one that is super important, as all the time that's going to be spent on these mowers will be here at the seat. So we'll talk about those differences. So first off, guys, Z5 here, we'll talk about little thinner design overall, and also just a little more flat here on top and here at the back. Now when we move to the Z7s, what you're going to notice is a lot thicker seat, and you're also going to notice a little more contour to the bottom and to the top, which is also going to help kind of hug you into that seat. Now next, let's talk a little bit about the seat suspension. So here on the Z5 we're going to have a pretty standard non-adjustable spring suspension. Now when we move to the Z7, you're going to see a lot larger spring suspension here, and not only are these springs a lot larger, but they're also adjustable in position, which will change the way that that suspension rides as we're going through the yard or wherever we're mowing. Now both series of mowers are going to have some of the same features, like we already talked about suspension. You're also going to have fore and aft adjustment to where you can slide that seat either forwards or backwards depending on operator comfort. And then most of these mowers will also have the Comfort Glide system, which is a fore and aft suspension that allows the seat to ride with the mower as you're going through and mowing. Now, one thing that you do get as an upgrade when we move to the Z7 is once you move into a Z7R, you're going to get some extra features here at the seat. For one, the suspension is not going to be spring underneath. It's actually going to be a weight turn dial here, so you'll be able to turn that dial up to your weight, and that spring suspension will either tighten or loosen depending on your weight to add to that ride comfort. And then also you'll be able to get a tilt system here on the back, so you can tilt that seat either forward or backward. So the next major difference, and once again guys, this may not seem like a major difference to you, but I'm telling you that this is a big deal between the two series of mowers here, is on the Z5 we're going to have a standard park brake where we release it by pushing it down and engage it by raising it up. And then once we move to the Z7, we're going to have an integrated park brake into the handles. So to release the park brake, we simply pull the handles in, and to set the park brake, we push them back out. Next difference is going to be the adjustability of the foot platform. Now on the Z5, it's actually not going to have any adjustability. It has one spot that it's going to stay in the whole time. Now when we move up to the Z7, you'll notice here that there's a slot back behind here, and there's also going to be another slot in front. And what this is makes this foot platform adjustable, where you can move this either closer to the operator or further away, just to widen the range of operators that this mower can fit. So our next major difference is going to be the way we change our height of cut. On the Z5, it's a magnetic pin system. So to change that height, we simply pull our pin out, change the height, and then lower the deck. So here on the Z7, we have an easy turn dial system here. You're just going to turn this dial to find that height, and then just like on our Z5, we're going to push in and lower our deck. Next major difference is going to be at the deck. So on the Z5 series, you're going to have two options. You'll have either the XL Deep or the high capacity deck. On the Z7s, your only option is the high capacity Pro deck. Now the differences between these two is on the Z5, an XL Deep is a 10 gauge stamp deck, and a high capacity is a 9 gauge stamp deck. Now when we move back to the Z7, the high capacity Pro is also a 9 gauge steel stamp deck, but it's going to have some of the commercial features like the larger anti-scalping wheels, the step, and the heavy duty side welded pieces there to add that extra protection on your trimming side. Now, one feature that the Z5 has that the Z7 does not is the Z5s will have a deck washout port on those decks. So the next major difference, and probably the most noticeable difference, is going to be at the frames here. So if we look here at the Z7, we can just see how much wider and how many more welding spots there are here on this frame to give this that more bulky commercial look. And if we move over here to the Z5, you can see we have a little skinnier frame, and we're also going to have some more bolts here where we can see where this has been bolted together. One other more noticeable difference here is going to be at our caster wheel spindles. You can see just how much larger these are, how much more shaft is going to ride in that frame to add to that durability and longevity here at our caster wheels. Next, let's talk about fuel. So the first thing is, let's talk about the capacity of these two mowers. In the Z5, you're going to have a 4.5 gallon tank, and on the Z7, you're going to have an 8 gallon tank. Now let's also talk about the fuel gauges. So as we can see on both mowers, we are going to have the sight gauges here at the front, right underneath the seat. But the one thing that the Z5 is going to have that the Z7 doesn't is the Z5 actually has an electronic fuel gauge right in the operator station. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and give us a subscribe. And also guys, if you're looking for the best place online to buy your John Deere parts, make sure to check that link in the description below. And as always guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Today I'm going to be showing you, not today. We don't like that. We don't do that. Dang it. Are we going to struggle today?
I'm doing fine. I don't know about you, but I'm filming pretty good today.
So another difference, and this may be, no, okay. So another difference, whether it be major or not, how'd you word that? Sorry. So the next difference, and this will be major to you depending on how much you fold and raise your a fuel gauge here at the operator station that's electronic. And why'd I mess that up? All right. Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and go buy your parts at west-equip.com/parts.